Getting into bikepacking can feel a bit overwhelming due to the sheer number of different products and setups which you could choose to take with you. Recently, my girlfriend Catherine and I went on our first bikepacking adventure, so today I thought we'd share with you 10 bits of gear which we took with us for our first trip and will continue to use for future trips. Lightweight sleeping bags are, in my opinion, a pretty essential piece of kit for bikepacking, and there's a fair few options available to choose from. I wanted something which was light and which would be appropriate in case the temperature dropped overnight, and so in the end went with the Thermarest Hyperion 20 UL. This bag not only packs down small but weighs in at an impressive 725 grams. The bag's comfort rated down to 0 degrees Celsius, making it usable for most of the year in the UK where I live. I went for the long version, and at 185 centimeters tall, I'd say I'm pretty much on the limits of this bag. It's also a slim cut bag, presumably in order to save weight, so if you need a bit more wiggle room, then this might not be the right bag for you. The next thing you'll need in order to have a good night's sleep is a comfy surface to lie on. There's a few choices here again, but I decided upon a lightweight inflatable sleeping pad, which is a good compromise between weight, warmth and packability. This insulated Q-Core SLX sleeping pad by Big Agnes is lightweight at only 647 grams, while also being comfy thanks to its nearly 3.5 inch thickness when inflated. You inflate the pad using the handy included pump sack. This prevents mold from developing inside the pad, which can be caused by the moisture in your breath. Make sure to check the R rating when choosing a sleeping pad, as it can have a pretty big effect on how warm or cold you end up feeling at night. This particular pad has an R rating of 3.2, which matches it up really nicely with the sleeping bag I showed you before. I got this pad in the long version, but as with the bag, I'd say it's definitely on the narrow end of the scale, so something to be wary of if you're looking to get one for yourself. So with the bag and mat sorted, you'll now need somewhere to put it. If you really want to travel light and fast, a bivvy and tarp is a good lightweight solution, but we wanted something a bit more comfortable which would also provide a relatively secure place to store our bikes overnight. This Big Agnes Blacktail 2 Hotel Bike Pack tent and the footprint does come to a fairly weighty 3.5 kilograms, but I was more than happy to lug this about for the additional shelter and space it provided. There's more than enough space for 2 people, with plenty of cool features such as handy gear storage solutions in the tent, and the actual tent packs down into a bag which is small enough to strap directly to your handlebars. There are a huge amount of bags out there which you can buy for bikepacking, so rather than go into detail on all of them, let me show you the ones we've got and then I'll explain why we got them. The bags we used on our first trip were a 16.5 litre seat pack, a 6 litre frame pack, a 9 litre handlebar pack, a stem bag, and a 3.5 litre accessory pack. Between these bags and the tent being on my handlebars, we had more than enough space for a night's worth of food, clothes, and equipment. We definitely had a bit of space left over too. Apart from the stem bag, we went with the full Ortlieb range of bikepacking bags, as they're completely waterproof and they come with a 5-year warranty as standard. Of course, you can purchase cheaper bags, but we figured we're only going to be buying these once, so we went with what we consider to be the best bags out there. Now this next one might not be for everyone, but in my opinion, when bikepacking you should sack off those clipless pedals and shoes and replace them with a pair of comfy flat pedals and regular shoes. It means you can stop and walk around with these whenever you want, and you don't have to pack an extra pair of shoes for the evening. I don't really associate bikepacking with peak performance, so I'm more than happy to sacrifice a bit of efficiency in order to have a good time. Multifunctional clothing is key for a bikepacking trip. Rather than taking a change of clothing for when you're done riding, choose clothing that can be worn both on and off the bike. So technical t-shirts, fleeces, puffy jackets all work great, and something like a pair of board shorts or similar is a great choice for letting things breathe after a day of being in cycling shorts. Now, of course, you'll get to the campsite in plenty of time, but if, like us, you don't quite make it, then a good set of lights is handy to have. If you're on roads, then they'll be essential, but if you're running out of daylight, they have the added benefit of being something you can use around the campsite for after dark. These Bontrager lights are plenty bright, reasonably priced, and they can be recharged by USB, meaning you can take a power bank and cable with you if you're going to be needing them for a long period of time. If you're adventuring into unknown areas, then planning a route before is the best thing to do. Using a tool like Komoot or Strava is going to help make things much easier. With your routes made, then you're going to need a way of looking at them whilst you're riding. There's a few different ways to do this. You can use your phone, some great handlebar mounts like this quad lock system to keep your phone where you need it. However, I feel it's pretty risky using one device for everything, so I prefer to upload all the routes to my Wahoo Bolt. It's a small unit with plenty of battery life, which has so far been faultless. There's nothing that can make a bikepacking trip go from fun to miserable quite like a mechanical issue. Make sure you've got the right tools with you and that you know how to use them. That should mean you're prepared for most situations. For this trip, we took with us a multi-tool, some spare inner tubes, tyre levers, CO2 dispenser and canisters, a mini pump and a chain breaker. It would also probably be useful to take a few chain links if you've got them, and a spare derailleur hanger too. These things it's not fun when they break. Finally, and very importantly, we have this. It's not for planting flowers, it's actually for digging holes in case you need to, well, you know. It has the instructions written on it, and it's made of lightweight plastic. Just make sure to take a bit of biodegradable toilet paper with you too. And if you don't feel comfortable with taking this, then make sure to check on the route for any facilities there are, as crapping all over the countryside should be left to the wildlife. So there you have it, a list of 10 things which I think you'll need for your first bikepacking trip. If you want to know where to get any of these, I've left the links in the description. And if you found the video entertaining, please give it a like. If you want to watch the video from our first bikepacking trip and see all the gear in this video in use, then you can find that over on my channel. In the meantime, I'm going to get my sleeping gear packed up inside these bags, strap the tent to my handlebars, plan a few more routes out on Komoot, and then, well, I think you get the idea. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.